Does a person's body count matter in dating?
I personally don't want somebody that anybody can have, because if I'm going to hold myself accountable and not let anyone have access to me, what's fair in having someone that anyone can have access to?
So do you think it matters or it doesn't matter?
Yeah, it can.
Do you think it matters more for men or for women?
It matters to men more, for sure, what the girl's body type.
Why do you think so?
Something about a master key and all the locks. I don't know.
I think the expression goes, a key that can open up any lock is a master key, but a lock that can be opened up by 50 keys is a shitty lock.
Welcome to the CWC Podcast, everybody. The home of entrepreneurship, interpersonal relationship, modern dating, and a whole lot more. Thank you for being here on a special episode today. Today's topic is modern women are lost, but it's not their fault. What do I mean by that? So over the last few weeks, I've come out with several videos. You guys have seen. Some of them deal with modern dating. Some of them deal with, as you saw, we had a narcissism videos back to back that we did. The last week, we've done episodes on finance. We've touched on cryptocurrency. We touched on different topics. The ones that get the most traction are videos on interpersonal relationships, modern dating. It's just the way that it is in society these days. Almost everybody is struggling with this particular topic. So that's why those videos get the most traction. It makes sense to me. I mean, just go on to any platform, go on to YouTube, go on to TikTok, go on to any platform, a social media platform that you could possibly think of, and go out there and just do a general search and find out what most people are complaining about. They're complaining about relationships. They're complaining about problems they're having meeting someone, problems they're having finding someone, a like-minded person, just to have a friend. I mean, it's hard for people to even find friends these days because there is so much division. And there's so many avenues for that division that are being, put into people's minds and put into people's orbit of thought on a daily basis that people are really outthinking. They're outthinking themselves, and they're overcomplicating things, and they're overcomplicating their own lives in doing so. And what we're ending up with is a population of a lot of really unhappy people who think that they might be happy because they're doing things their own way now, or I'm just doing this. I'm just focusing on myself and I'm not worried about anybody else. We got to be careful with this, guys. I see a little bit too much when a horse is pulling too hard, in one direction. I think we need to slow down a little bit, because over the last week, while I was doing research for this particular video, I came across some really disturbing things, really disturbing podcasts of young women who, quite frankly, guys, are just lost. I mean, the stuff that I hear these girls talking about, it's really appalling to me. And I made some bullet points just to kind of touch on a few things that I did see on some of these podcasts. And I'm going to leave links in the description box for you guys to check out so that you can reference back to some of the stuff that I watched. Like and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. We appreciate it. Leave a like, comment, leave a sub, whatever you can do to help the channel. We appreciate it. With that being said, so on this topic, I don't even like using the word at this point. It starts with an F, it ends with an M. So I'm going to call it womanism, because that is a new kind of modern term that the manosphere has kind of applied to the F word to just, quite frankly, avoid saying it, because quite frankly, it's very negative. It's got a negative context. It's got, just saying it sounds negative, right? So I'm going to choose to use womanism as a way to reference modern feminism. That's the way that I'll reference it here, just so you understand. And what has womanism done? Well, what started off as a great movement, it's taken a radical turn for the worse, and I think it's decaying our society from the inside out. Young women here in the States, they're constantly bombarded with toxic, self-destructive topics, things like quote unquote the A word, ABORTION, rights, the patriarchy, the wage gap. All of these things that may or may not have been at one point in time a focal point of society. I think that stuff is now being re-raised as these to show these girls that, oh, you're being oppressed. Just take a look at what they're doing to you, and they're ramming this stuff down these girls' brains. And you'll see, if you just go watch any of these podcasts I'm going to reference in the description box, and you'll see these girls have bought hook, line, and sinker into this ideology, which is just kind of scary for me. just to see it as someone who has daughters, one younger, one older. I'm concerned. I'm concerned about what they could potentially be taught. My sister and I are actually talking about planning an episode about college campuses and what's happening on college campuses these days. Is quite scary. Any of you that have children that are approaching the college age, even junior high level, going into high school soon, like my daughter will be. I'm now much more, or have to be much more concerned about where she actually goes, because this ideology is actually permeating. It's showing up in droves kind of everywhere, and college campuses are a haven for it. So we have to be really careful, and we have to educate our kids, mostly our daughters, about this, because we know, come on guys, they're young kids at the end of the day. I think, and I was telling my sister this the other day, one of the problems that I have with the manosphere and some of these other channels that talk about these same topics is that I feel like we're doing too much just pointing the finger and saying these girls are awful, or these guys are awful. Look at all these girls, and oh, here's 20 TikTok videos to show you how horrible all these girls are, and their mindsets are all jacked up, and look what's wrong with these women. Fine. How did they get that way? That's what I want to focus on. Like, I understand what is that these girls' minds are turning to mush. I mean, that we know that's what's happening. Okay, so now that we know that's what's happening, why is it happening? And can we stop it? Is there a way to actually help these girls get a balanced subset of information so that they're not going out here into the world with these crazy ideas that womanism is teaching them? I mean, I made some bullet points here. First of all, people, if anyone's using the term that they're woke, they should stop. Because that's not a term of endearment anymore. That basically means that you haven't woken up yet. That's basically what that means. If you're walking around here and you're latching onto this woke ideology that's being pushed out there, this radical, ridiculously out to blue, crazy ideas. Like, come on, you have to have some discernment and some balance in the stuff that you're consuming. And if you're not able to discern these things and you just take everything that you hear, which these are young kids, by the way, what do we expect them to do? They're going to be impressionable. Females especially, super impressionable. So females are also, they're on these platforms all the time, right? They're on TikTok, they're on Instagram, they're on YouTube, they're on there way more than men are. So they're getting a constant flood of this information, a constant flood. And a lot of it's, quite honestly, self-destructive, bad information. So if I can be a counterweight to that in any way, that's my goal here, or one of my goals here on the channel. Now, we spoke about college campuses. I didn't know how bad it was, to be honest with you. I had to do research on this. I had no idea the kind of stuff that was going on. They're doing orgy parties. Now, don't get me wrong. College campuses have always been a haven for partying and, throwing eggs and frat parties on. We get all of that. Nobody's sitting here saying, oh, they just started partying on college campuses. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is now this womanism movement has actually gotten into the actual core teaching material of these girls. And they're having things like orgy parties, guess who's pregnant and by who. These girls are going, like, literally, I saw a group of girls, probably all of them under 22 years old. And they're all on the college campus, and they're talking about, they're laughing about this game that they played called Guess Who's Pregnant and by Who. They actually picked out certain guys on the campus that they all were going to have sex with. And then over the next week or two or whatever, they were going to check this. Everybody was going to do a pregnancy test to see who was pregnant. And then whoever was pregnant out of that group, they had to guess by whom. This was insane to me. I'm sitting there like, okay, even if you're going to do this, ladies, why are you telling people online? But that's the part that I don't understand. Like, if you're going to be out here doing these debaucherous things and things that are quite honestly conduct unbecoming of a young woman, quite frankly, it's not funny. I don't see what's funny about this personally. Like, if I saw a video and my daughter was on there laughing like those girls were about And then Tuesday I slept with Tom, and then Thursday I slept with so and so, and Wednesday I slept with, and then we're trying to see. I would probably, I'd be on the next thing hopping. That's for sure. I'd be on the next flight hopping. What, going to get my daughter right now? Like what's going on? Like what is going on here? This is not funny. I mean, and if you are pregnant, are you going to get the A word like you guys are fighting for? Like, come on now. So this stuff is very, very, very it's going to take a huge toll on society if we don't figure out a way to stop it or at least slow it down. These girls are out here talking about body counts. They're out here bragging about it, guys. I saw a panel of girls. They were on a podcast. They were talking to, again, young, very, very young, 20, 19, 20. These girls have already had 30, 40, 50 sex partners already right now. So, and they think it's funny. They're sitting and here's where the ideology comes in. They're sitting there saying, well, guys do it all the time. How come their body count doesn't matter? I know guys, they have a roster. That's another thing, ladies. Stop talking about your roster. No guy thinks that that's a good thing. Trust me. I don't care what guys may tell you. Oh, there's nothing wrong with that. He's telling you that because he has a motive to be on your roster. Okay. Now, there's nothing attractive about you having a roster. Nothing. I'm telling you now. So females, please stop. You're going out here on the internet. You're telling everybody I have a roster. You're telling everybody your body count. You're telling everybody. Stop. This is not going to be good for you in the future. It's not good for the reputation of yourself or your family. It's going to play into, we talk about mental health. Yes. It's going to play into your mental health issues down the line. This is going to come back and bite you in some way, shape, or form. It is not a game. This is the stuff I'm going to tell my daughter. What are you doing? Respect yourself, respect your body, especially as a female, as a young female. You should have the utmost respect for your body. Your body is a temple. You should be very, very highly super selective about anyone who you let into that temple. That's what I'm going to tell my kids. Now, you guys can tell them whatever you want. I'm just telling you what I'm going to do, because what I'm seeing here is very, 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 very scary and sad, because not only are these girls degrading themselves, really, really, really adding a lot of emotional baggage to their lives. Because, ladies, so there's a lot of things that one thing I wanted to mention, and it's about the hookup culture and all these things. There's I read about this. So oxytocin. I had heard what it was. I kind of knew what it was, but I didn't know how it really worked. Right. So oxytocin is a chemical that the female excretes. And actually, I'm going to share this article really quick with you guys so you can just take a look. I'll do a quick screen share here. And I recommend that you guys check this out. I'm going to share my screen here. So you should be seeing on the screen, this is an article from the Cleveland Clinic. So this is oxytocin. So oxytocin, you see the definition. It's the natural hormone that stimulates uterine contractions in childbirth and lactation after childbirth. And it also affects aspects of human behavior and the male and female reproductive system. Now, why is this important? Why am I talking about oxytocin? I'll tell you why. And like I said, I highly recommend you read the article. It gave me different perspective. Females, every time you have sex with somebody, you excrete this particular chemical, which gives you, on some level, some sort of an emotional connection to that person that you just had sex with. Men, we do not have this same effect. It doesn't affect us the same way, even though we both have it. So every time, females, ladies, that you give yourself to someone and you excrete this toxin every single time, it's actually, just think of it as a little bit of your soul seeping out. I think that's a good way to put it. Like a little bit of your soul just seeped out and now it's staying with that person, right? So think about that. That's how I'm going to explain it to my kids, right? Think about that. Every time you sit down, lay down with somebody and give them your body and you secrete that chemical, you left a little bit of yourself with that person. Do you want to do that? Raise your standards, ladies. That's all I'm telling you. Raise your standards. Stop listening to these people. See, these people that are out here that are telling you, these folks, I guarantee, that are running around telling you, oh, have a roster. Have as many sexual guys do it all the time. Be just like guys. Go out here. Have hot girl summers. Be on the carousel. They're doing this on purpose to sabotage your lives. A lot of these people that are giving you this information are not happy with their own lives. So what would be better than to have you destroy your own life too? Stop listening to these people. Stop. Now, the reason I say that it's not all women's fault is because men, now I'm giving you some smoke. We have failed our daughters somewhere along the way. So somewhere along the way in the United States of America, we have failed our daughters because they are not getting good guidance. This stuff should not have been able to manifest itself at this level if we were doing our jobs. Our young daughters are going out here into this world and they're completely lost. Now, a lot of that is because we have too many single family households. We've talked about that. We've talked about the high single mother rate in the United States. It's abnormally high. I'm not going to stop talking about that because at the end of the day, that's the goal of the powers that be. Best believe it. They want single family homes so that they can continue to push this stuff. Pay attention. They're pushing this stuff. And if you do not have a strong family nucleus, a father being there to do what I am doing, to be that buffer to tell your daughters, no, this is not the way to be. It is not cool to have a roster. It is not cool to sleep with 5 guys in a weekend. It is not cool to play pregnancy games on college campuses. It is not cool to put yourself out on the internet, exposed to the world for free, for nothing, for laughs, even for money. It's not cool. Okay. So guys, I'm talking to you as fathers. We got to take a bigger role. We have to step up. We have to be more of an influence somehow. We have to. Or else you think it's bad now. It's going to get much, much, much worse. These girls are younger now. You're seeing them showing up on these videos. I mean, these girls, it was heartbreaking to me. These girls are too young. They're too young to be talking like this. They're too young. They have no idea what they're doing. I don't even blame these girls. I don't. They're too young. And they are getting, just bombarded with bad advice. Bad. Young men too. You're not immune. We talk about it all the time. Myself, I've evolved in the manosphere space too. I had to cut back channels that I was following because it got to the point where I was like, okay, what are we going to do? Are we going to sit here and just break these girls down and tell every girl on here how horrible she is? Or are we going to try to find out why she's that way so that we can maybe fix it? That's what I would rather do. That's the space that I want to be in. I'm not here to get cheap clicks and likes and subscribes. That's not what I'm here to do. I could follow a lot of the paths of a lot of these channels, and I could go out here and I could give you guys shock value nonsense so that in this channel, and I could make this channel just like every other channel out there. I don't see value in that. And so that's not what I'm going to do here. I'm going to continue to bring information, bring up topics that I feel like are decaying society. This is one of them. This is a big one. We got to do better, guys. We got to do better. We have to teach these girls that they are princesses. They are queens. But you have to earn that title. You don't just the Cardi B's and all of them are out here that are telling these girls all this bad information, and they all think that they're one Instagram photo away from from getting flown to Dubai. That's what's wrong with these girls, man. They all want the quick fix. They all want to be the next Cardi B, the next Megan Thee Stallion, or whoever that are, those girls are entertainers. They do what they do. That's entertainment. It's not real life. They think it's real because they're kids. They need our help. We got to do better. We got to do better, guys. Not going to take up too much of your time today. Just wanted to get that out. Like and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to leave some links in the description box. Check us out on Anchor. We appreciate all the support. CDFC Podcast 2023. We're not stopping. We're going to continue. We can't stop. There's too much work to do. We'll see y'all next time.